Hello everyone, and welcome to another video of the GC channel. I am GC, also known as Jocoin, and today I'm gonna rank all the Star Wars movies. I have the ranking here right on my computer. Let's get started. All the way at the bottom is Star Wars The Holiday Special. Oh my god, this movie is so bad. I just don't like it. It's so embarrassing, so dumb. No one really asked for it, only George Lucas himself, who later regretted making it. And we're not surprised that no one has ever heard of it because it went straight to DVD. So yeah, but it's basically just singing and dancing and cooking. It's sort of like a reality show, only then in the Star Wars universe, and we meet Chewie and his family, and it's all about them having the greatest Christmas of all. And it's just exhausting and painful to watch because all you see is these Wookiees. Because all you see are those Wookiees talking to each other, and you don't understand them at all. It goes on for like more than half an hour. Just Wookiees talking to each other, and it's so painful to watch. Next is Ewoks, the Battle for Endor. Oh my god, could it get any worse than the holiday special? No, but it came close. It really did. Because this movie is so hard to watch too. And so bad, and it doesn't make any sense. This movie feels more like Lord of the Rings than Star Wars, actually. It's about this kid who lost her family, and a lot of Ewoks die too, and then she has to go meet this old guy, and then she fights a battle against some weird looking monsters and a witch, apparently. There's a witch in this movie. That's right. This all sounds like the Lord of the Rings, right? Yes, it does. Because it is. It's a Lord of the Rings movie stuck in the Star Wars universe. Alright, next is an Ewok adventure, Caravan of Courage. Okay, this movie is not as bad as the other Ewok movie. It is actually not that bad, actually. It is, let's say, it is a bad movie. It is also pretty lazy, but it is not hard to watch. It's certainly not a painful hour and a half of your life. No, not at all. It's just lazy. It follows these two children on a journey to save their parents, and they do this journey together with Ewoks. And yeah, like I said, it's not bad. It's just lazy and forgettable. That's all I have to say about it. Alright, now we're getting into the more known Star Wars movies. The next one is Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Well, yeah. Yeah, everyone doesn't really like this movie, and there are a lot of reasons why. And in my opinion, Attack of the Clones is not a bad movie. Sure, it has its downs. Like, for example, some of the bad acting, the terrible effects, and yeah, I think that's about it, yeah. Just mostly the whole acting with Hayden Christensen. Hayden is just such a terrible actor. He does a horrible job as Anakin, and it's just hard to watch him. And delivering these lines like, I don't like sand. It's cold and irritating, and it gets anywhere. That's just a very bad line. The dialogue is just horrible in this movie. But it has its highlights. There are great looking sword fights, the action is great, the story is alright, I guess, and some of the characters are pretty good. I like Mace Windu, Obi-Wan is great, Yoda is great, Count Dooku is great, Jango Fett's also a great guy. This movie mostly works because of the characters and the story, I guess, and also all of the action. Yeah. I can look past the bad acting and the horrible effects as long as there are great characters and a good story. So yeah, that's why I think it's not bad, it's just disappointing. Alright, next up is Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Alright, this movie is embarrassing, disappointing maybe, but is it bad? It has its ups and downs. The downs are, of course, Jar Jar Binks, the terrible effects, and some of the bad acting, and of course, having Dark Vader as a little kid is just not great to see at all. Little Anakin is very, very annoying, but there are some highlights. There are great lightsaber battles. I love Darth Maul, he's great in this movie. And Yoda and Mace Windu and Qui-Gonn Jinn, they're all great. They make up for this movie. They are the highlights of this movie. So I will say that there is some bad things in this movie. There's mostly embarrassing stuff. Let's keep it at that. This movie is not bad, it's just embarrassing. Alright, next is Solo, a Star Wars story. Probably the most forgettable Star Wars movie that ever made the theaters. But it is also a movie that is very interesting to watch. It is very fun to watch. It has some great comedy. And it has its highlights. Sure, it's forgettable. And sure, they made Han one of the most blanded characters in history. But I love Lando in this movie. I love Chewie. But there are also some characters I don't really care about in this movie, like Han's girlfriend. I don't really give a shit about her. Anyway, this movie is just not bad. It's just forgettable as hell, and I hope that the next spin-off will not be that forgettable. I just hope it will be great. Alright, next is Star Wars The Clone Wars. The movie, not the TV show. We're only talking about the movies today. So, yeah, this is the movie that came out in 2008 and started the TV show. And is it bad? No. Is it good? It's alright. Let's keep it at that. It is not great. That not. But it did start off the TV show in a great way. It set up a lot for the future and was a very interesting movie. And it was fun to watch. I really liked the animation, that was gorgeous, and I loved the action in this movie. The storytelling is also pretty great. But I wouldn't call it a great movie, I would just call it a good movie. Yeah, a good movie. Alright, next is The Return of the Jedi. A classic. A great one. It is great, I just love it. It ends the original trilogy in a great way. Darth Vader sacrificed himself for the greater good. Darth Sidious is dead, the Empire is defeated, and our heroes Luke, Leia, and Han, and Chewie, and Lando all have their happy ending on the Ewok planet. I also love the beginning with the whole Sarek thing, and with Han having to escape being a prisoner of Jabba the Hutt. And also Boba Fett's ending is kind of disappointing if you think about it, but it's also pretty funny actually. I will forgive that disappointing death of Boba Fett because it's so damn funny to watch. So yeah. Okay, next is A New Hope. It is the movie that started off the Star Wars franchise. It is great. It introduced us to the entire Star Wars universe. It made us love Leia, Luke, Han, Chewie, Obi-Wan, and of course it introduced us to the greatest villain of all time, Darth Vader. And we all like Darth Vader. We will never hate him. He is great. We love him. And we will all love this movie because it introduces us to the Star Wars universe in a great way. And it is so fun to watch over and over and over again. Okay, next is the first spin-off that ever existed in the Star Wars universe, Rogue One. It is a great movie. I like it. It is a movie that hasn't really that big of a promise, but it is fun to watch. And sure, it killed off most of its characters, but do we really care? No, not really. This movie is just all about getting the plans from the Death Star to the Rebel base. And for that to happen, you have to make sacrifices. And some of the sacrifices are killing off the entire cast. And I will say this sure is hard to see characters you just come to see going down in such dramatic and big ways, but by looking back on the choice of killing all of its characters, I think they made the right choice. Okay, next is the movie that started off the sequel trilogy, The Force Awakens. It is awesome. It is great. It may be a rehash of A New Hope, but it is still great. It introduced us to so many new great characters: Rey, Finn, Poe, and it brings back Leia and Han and Luke in such a great way. And I just love it. I love the return of C-3PO. I love R2-D2 in this movie. I love Chewie. I also love the new villain. Kylo Ren is a great villain. I like him. And the twist with him being Han Solo's son and with Han Solo dying, I did not expect that when I was watching this movie. For Han Solo to die, that was one of the most shocking moments ever. And yeah, it's just a great movie. It started off the sequel trilogy in a good way, and it sets up a great looking future. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. It's just a great beginning of a new story. Right, next is the best Star Wars prequel, Revenge of the Sith. It is great. I love it. It has great lightsaber battles. It has pretty good acting if you compare it to the other prequels. The acting is way better in this movie. It has the rise of Darth Vader in it, and that's just great to see. It has the amazing moment, one of the best Star Wars moments in history, Order 66. It is great to see. Order 66. Execute Order 66. That scene is awesome, with all the Jedi dying in such a gory and dramatic way. And it is so great. That is just one of the highlights of this movie. I also love General Grievous, that is great. And the whole Anakin turning evil, becoming Darth Vader, a great looking villain, is just done in a pretty good way actually. They may have started off bad, but they ended in a good way. Okay, next is The Last Jedi. This is one of the most divisive Star Wars movies ever, and I get why it has made some very rough and difficult choices, and it is certainly a divisive movie, that's for sure. It kills off a fan favorite character in a good way, but also in a way that we don't know much about him. Of course, talking about Snoke. We also didn't like how they handled Captain Phasma. So yeah, it is a movie that has its problems, but it is saved because it has just such a good story, such great acting, and the twist, the ending with Kylo turning really evil and want to destroy everything in the universe to start something new is a pretty great turn for him. I actually thought that was a great storyline. And I like it. This movie is great. It has great action, great characters, great acting, great effects. I don't really hate the way they killed off Luke. I actually think that was done in a pretty good way. I just hate the fact that they killed off Snoke without really explaining to us who he was. So yeah, that's actually the only thing I hate about it. I can look past all the other things. Alright, next is Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. This movie is let's say okay. Let's keep it at that. It is a movie that is not bad at all. It ended the trilogy in a good way, I guess, and it's certainly great. It is awesome. It has great action-packed moments. It is full of great effects, great characters, great acting, great directing, and the story is just awesome and all. But if you gotta be honest, when you look at it from start to finish, you really see that some of the story elements are missing. You can clearly see that some of the scenes are cut out because of time. And I get why. Of course, the time of a movie is a very important part of the movie. But like a lot of people, I rather want a good ending that seems like it is satisfying and great than have a movie that looks like it is not finished. So I really hope that J.J. Abrams gets the chance to finish this movie and release the director's cut or the extended cut, whatever you want to call it, just a better cut than this movie. It was not bad. It was just kind of disappointing and felt like we were missing scenes, and it was just obvious that we were missing scenes, and that is just bad, in my opinion. Right, finally, the last movie on this list, the greatest, most classic Star Wars movie of all, and that's of course The Empire Strikes Back. It is a movie that is full of great moments. The near death of Han, the defeat of our friends. They just got away back in time, but they lost one of their friends, sort of. And Luke lost his hands. He found out about who his real father is. This movie has the great moments that is, Luke, I am your father. And it's just great to watch. It's one of the most cinematic and great things to see in history. The scene is so iconic and so great. And this movie introduces us to Lando, one of the greatest characters in movie history. It's hard for a sequel to live up to the original, and this sequel clearly lives up to the original. It introduces us to Yoda and Boba Fett, and it is just so great. And I just love all of it. And I really can't name a single bad thing about this movie. That was my ranking of all the Star Wars movies. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me down in the comments below, what is your favorite Star Wars movie? Show me your ranking of all the Star Wars movies in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time.